Hello and welcome to the channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I really appreciate it. So we got some more information about the Acura ZDX. We do have a price breakdown and we're going to go through those price breakdown, and holy guacamole, that shit is a little pricey. But that's okay. Honestly, it was expected. So before, honestly, all we had was just kind of like a rough estimate of what the vehicle was going to be costing. Man, you guys better prepare yourself. Get yourself some popcorn and get ready because this is one expensive EV, especially for being a Honda's first full electric SUV vehicle. Not only are we getting the Acura ZDX, we're also going to be getting the Honda Prologue, which uses the Ultium platform, which they partner with General Motors, and you guys already know what my thoughts on that partnership is. Thankfully, the partnership has dissolved. So Honda is no longer partnering up with GM. So this is just going to be a one-off. They were going to partner up and do other vehicles, cheaper vehicles as well too, but they decided to kind of like veer off that partnership and do their own thing, which I'm like, yay! And the and the partnership that they had with Sony, I'm really excited about that partnership. Sony, one of my favorite video game console makers. I do love the Afila and the fact that they actually said that they were going to be selling that one directly to consumers. So I'm excited about that as well too, as well as the Saloon that they showed, that we saw that's coming out in 2026, as well as the Space Hub. So Honda is really ramping up on their EV production vehicles, which I'm all excited for. I can't wait to see it in person, get my hands on it, touch it, feel the fabric, because last time I went to the auto show, the vehicle was actually locked, so we couldn't even get in the Prologue. You can only see it from the outside, looking in from the window. But I did like the interior. Overall, the design, the color looks nice and sharp. I did like that. There's certain things that I liked about the vehicle, but I still have my reservation about the whole situations. But anyway, without taking too much of your precious time, let's go ahead and jump in on the Acura pricing. And ooh wee, it is one pricey SUV, especially in a segment where there is a lot of competition in this segment when it comes to SUVs, because everybody is making SUVs. Not only is GM making SUV EVs, you got Acura, you got Honda, right? You got Toyota that's making some. You got, Subarus. You got your Nissans. So even though the Japanese have been late to the market when it comes to their, SUVs, it's better late than never, right? And most of those Japanese companies, they're a little bit more like reserved because they don't want to go all in and then just kind of go bust, because we have seen the I don't know, the best way I can say it is like the uptake in EVs has actually slowed down, so it's kind of tapering off. And even Ford themselves have actually started to limit the amount of F-150 trucks that they were making, and the prices are coming down, which is a huge plus for consumers. But sorry, I went on a little tangent when I said we're gonna get into it. But now we're gonna get into it. Let's go. So initially, like I talked about, this is the reservation where you put your $1,000 in to lock in the, if you want to be one of the first to actually get it. It is releasing this year, spring of 2024. I think I talked a little bit about the design as well too. It goes up to about 70 G's. That's a lot of money. But the problem with that is when you're paying that amount of money and then, you're just not going to get that much range out of it. There's literally a ton of competition when it comes to like I said, the SUV segment. You got the Blazer EVs, and then you got the Equinox EVs. Even though the Blazer is not doing very well, you have Rivian that's also doing SUVs as well too. So like I said, that whole segment area. And also, what's the other company that's doing the Fisker and the Ocean? So I love it because when there's more competition in the market, that drives the prices down, which is a huge win for consumers like myself that are interested in these vehicles. But I think, to me, I feel like this is priced a little bit too high. but it doesn't matter. Whoever wants it is going to be able to get their hands on it. So technically, you don't have to reserve it. But I know the dealerships are going to be playing those stupid games, trying to get some extra money out of you. So don't do it. Just wait, and you'll eventually get the vehicle you want for a very good price. Because, like I said, the EV is kind of like tapering off, where it's just kind of like balancing. Even Hyundai themselves have been reducing their prices of their vehicles, as well as the Ioniq 5 and the new Ioniq. What is it? Their regular three. What is it? Their sedan. The Ioniq 6 is the one I was trying to talk about. But anyway, let's go. So the the Acura ZDX is actually starting at 64,500. Ooh wee! The ZDX arrives this spring and is slated to cost $14,805 more than the Lyriq. And to be honest, I've seen the Lyriq at the auto show, and that thing looks pretty nice. It feels good, and as well, it rides really, really nice too. So I can't really knock on that one too much, because I've actually ridden on that one during the one of the auto shows that I went to. They had the indoor track where you can actually ride in the vehicle. Anyway, the Acura ZDX arrives on dealerships this spring, and the company has announced pricing will begin at $64,500 before any undisclosed destination fees. This means the electric crossover costs $7,305 more than the Cadillac Lyriq, which begins at $57,000 before. And I thought that one was pretty high. If that wasn't bad enough, Cadillac offers a $7,500 incentive to make up for the missing tax credit, and this lowers the price to $49,695 before destination. As a result, the ZDX costs $14,805 more than the Lyriq. If that wasn't enough to dissuade you, the 2024 ZDX A-Spec promises to come exceptionally well equipped. Unfortunately, the company hasn't provided any details. So as you can see here, these are the pricings for the trims. So the A-Spec is coming in at $64,500, and then if you want it in all-wheel drive, it's going to cost you $68,500. So about, man, $4,000 more. And then if you want the Type S, which is, the Type S was right here, so $70,000. So that one is actually going to be starting at $73,000, so $3,000 more. And then if you want the all-wheel drive, it's only going to cost you $8,000 more, which I guess it's not that bad. But honestly, if you want more range, you want to take the single motor, just the A-Spec itself, for $64,500. If you want more range, honestly, if that matters to you. Do you really need all-wheel drive system? Not necessarily. How often do you actually use all-wheel drive system? That's the main concern here. So you don't even need it, to be honest with you. Because when I bought my Ioniq 5, I thought I was gonna need the all-wheel drive. I mean, it definitely gives me more performance, but I would much rather sacrifice the performance in order to get more range. Because if I wanted performance, I have my sports car, I guess, if you want to call it. That's going to give me that adrenaline rush that I need for the speed, low to the ground, and all that good stuff. It still doesn't come as close to, that EV, that instant power when you push the pedal down. Doesn't give me that, but at least I'm going to get this great range with it, and I'm completely fine with it. And that's what I use for my commuter car, is the Ioniq 5. So take that which you will. If you want the best of the best, the top of the line, then obviously you're gonna go with the Type S in all-wheel drive. But which one is this one though? This is what I'm curious about. What the hell is SOT 74,000? Because I thought this is kind of like single motor, right, with all the niceties, but it's not. They're both dual motor. So what is the SOT? What is that giving you? Is it extra stuff, more stuff? Anyways, let's see. The Type S begins at $73,500, and notably for having a dual motor all-wheel drive system with around 500 horsepower. This enables the crossover to accelerate from 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds. Ooh-wee! And is expected to fall to 288 miles. Now, The 288 miles could be a little bit misleading because that's not calculating whether this vehicle is being charged to 100% or is it 80%. It doesn't really tell you per se. I want to say that it's 100% charge. You're getting the 288 miles. So when you're charging it at about, I want to say what, 80%, which you're supposed to charge EVs at. So you might be getting like, I don't know, maybe 260 at 80. But then all other conditions plays into the factor of how much range you're actually going to get, because your driving patterns matters, whether it's cold or hot, if you're using your AC, if you're using your heater, if you're using any, how aggressive are you on the pedal. All these things comes into play. And then when it comes to recharging said vehicle too, the weather plays a huge factor on how fast you're going to be able to charge. During the cold time, for me, it took longer for the vehicle to charge from whether I'm using a level 2 or even if when I'm using a DC fast charger. It still takes about, I want to say it takes maybe like 30 minutes to go from like 10% to, to 80%, even using that DC fast charging. But when the temperature is right at the right time, perfect weather, you know what I mean? It's not hot, it's not too cold, and it's just right, then it takes me about 18 minutes to go from 10% to about 80%. Besides being more powerful, the Type S comes equipped with adapted dampers and an adjustable air suspension. Ooh, fancy. They're joined by 22-inch wheels that are backed up by Brembo front brakes with 6-piston calipers and painted yellow. The model also has hands-free cruise, which is essentially renamed version of GM's Super Cruise. And this is the interior. Looks nice. I like the interior because the interior is actually designed by Honda. The only thing that's not designed by Honda is just the platform that they're using, the Ultium platform. While the ZDX seems a little questionable value, Acura is throwing in one of the 3 charging packages for free. They're a tad convoluted, but the first includes a level 2 home charging station, which is I thought that's a great deal. And they're also doing the same thing for the Prologue too, so don't feel left out, because they're gonna hook you up if you decide to purchase the Prologue. They're gonna kick in some of these same thing that they're offering here as well too. A $500 credit for installation through Acura Home Electrification Marketplace, a 100 EV Go charging credit, and 60 kilowatt of complimentary charging at Electrify America stations. The second option includes a portable charging kit with a level 1, level 2 compatibilities. The package also comes with 250 installation credit, a 300 EV Go credit, and 60 kilowatt electrification. So these are just three. I think there's 3 options that you can choose from, whichever one that suits you the best. So let's say that you live in an apartment complex that doesn't give you the option to charge your vehicle, in that complex or whatever, where you can't get the charge. Then you can go ahead and take this version. That gives you a little bit more credit, as well as 250 installation credit. I don't know if you're going to be able to use that, but like I said, if you live in an apartment complex and you can't put a level 1 or level 2, then just go ahead and do this version right here. The third final option is best for apartment dwellers, as it ensures a charger installation credit. As a result, the EV Go credit balloons up to 750, while the Electrify America credit remains untouched. So you have 3 options on which credits you want to take advantage of. And hopefully I can see this vehicle and I can get inside and play with some of the electronics and stuff like that, because I'm curious. This is the more fancy Honda, and to me it's priced a little bit too expensive, especially with how the market is and how everything is. There's just a lot of options when it comes to affordable EVs. And do you really need to drop down 60 to 70 grand on this vehicle? Short answer is no. It's, to be honest, it just depends on what you're looking for. You know, if you want this fancy vehicle and you want the range, obviously you want to go with a single motor. If you want the performance, then you want to go with the dual motor. That's going to give you all that performance, but you're going to sacrifice a little bit of your range. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are about this Acura ZDX pricings. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.